Hi TDS dancers, it's Miss Catherine. I am going to walk you through our PrePointe warm-up. It's basically the warm-up that we do before any of our advanced ballet or intermediate advanced ballet bars, as well as PrePointe students. Anybody who thinks that they might want to do pointe someday or is currently doing pointe or working towards that, this is going to be a great video for you. It's a relatively quick, condensed version of all sorts of wonderful exercises that really focus on the lower leg, the intrinsic foot muscles, and the articulation of the feet in lots of different ways that you don't normally think about unless you are really focused on it. So we're going to be using two tools today. We're going to be using our yoga block, and we're going to be using our slider tool. Okay, these are when we go to the bar. The first portion is actually in front of the bar or in the center. If you're at home and you do not have something to hang on to, that's fine. This first part is really just to focus on feet balancing. Believe it or not, your feet, as you practice balancing in the center, really your feet have to sort of adjust with your body weight. And as you pull in your center and you pull up through the top of your head and you pull your shoulders down and really engage your back muscles and drop your hips and make sure that you're using your turnout as much as possible around the outsides of the legs and the glutes. This center work is going to help really you find your balance. So work away from the bar is very valuable. But then when we want to be really specific about our placement, we go to the bar so that we're sure that we're not losing our technique because of a lack of balance on certain exercises. So we'll go to the bar for the yoga block and the slider tool. So those tools we use in our exercise classes, in our jazz classes too, but these are some fun ways that you can do them with really specific ballet movement for your feet. I'm excited to do this. I need to make sure that the music's going to be good. I want to go over the very first exercise that we do before I turn the music on, however, and this is, I don't even know what to call it. It's an arch exercise. We do this in, so you guys are going to be really familiar with it, but basically if this is the floor and this is your foot, you're lifting your arch off the floor and you're pushing your toes really, here, let me do it this way. This is the floor. This is your foot, okay? You're going to, ooh, my knees. You're going to try to lift the arch of the foot like this while your toes remain flat and actually are pushing into the floor so that you're using all of the muscles of the top part of your foot and lifting up from the underside of the foot. So it's going to look like this. Your heel is engaged in the floor, your toes are engaged in the floor, and you're lifting your arch like this, making sure not to scrunch your toes underneath. You're not trying to dome your whole foot with your toes on the ground. Your toes are remaining flat and you're lifting the arch of the foot. And as you go here and you hit the top part, you hold it, and so you might want it to say like it cramps just a little bit, but you feel that hold, and then you relax the foot down. And then you try again, 2, 3, 4, and down, 2, 3, 4. And we do this 8 times. And then on the last time that we do it, those toes are still flat. We're lifting up the arch like this. Those toes are flat, and then we lean all of our weight onto. Now, if you can see my fingers really turning white. You want your toes to feel white. If you do this with your hand, parents even, you'll feel those inner hand muscles get a little bit fatigued, a little bit tired. You really are using those because you're not only are you lifting, but then you're putting weight on it. And so that arch is learning how to be strong in this beautiful arched position as you lean your weight forward. And that's where you shift your hips forward onto your toes, and we hold that. It can be a challenge, but you hold that. We're going to do this exercise in parallel, then we're going to turn out and we're going to do this exercise in first position. Then we're going to move on to a few stretches that will really loosen up those muscles that you've just engaged, and then we're going to start to build a little bit more with some other exercises. I just wanted to go over that technique because sometimes in class I see people just scrunch their toes under, and you don't want to waste this exercise by doing that. It doesn't really do anything for you. We don't scrunch our toes in ballet. We always stretch them out, and they're really strong underneath. So, all right, watch me get up off my knees. Okay, so let's go ahead and I think you guys can see that way. And we'll go ahead and start some music. I hope. Thanks for your patience. Okay, ready? Ready, in parallel, we're gonna lift the feet. 2, 3, down, up. 2, lifting the arches, down, up. 2, 3, down, up. 2. We're gonna do 4 more of these. We're gonna bring it in a little bit more, and down, up. 2, 3, down, up. 2, 3, down. Last one, hold. Now lean forward. Keeping that arch lifted. Lifted the arch. We're still leaning forward. We're gonna turn out to second, or sorry, out to first, and lift, 2, 3, and down. Lift, 2, 3, down. Don't scrunch your toes like this, right? We don't want to be on the outside. You want to lift, 2, and up. 2, we're going to wait for that, not wait for that music, but the music is going to go. We're going to do 2, and go ahead and go up one more time. And hold. Now we push forward. That weight, I've actually shifted my hips, my weight over my feet. Hold, 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 and up. And now we're going to stretch those arches and push through this arch. Making sure that you're not sickling your foot out this way. You want to make sure that you're here. Over that big toe and second toe. Push to the back. This is a nice stretch. That heel should be into the ground, and you want to feel like you're pushing back to the wall behind you. Push that heel into the floor. Straighten your knee up. Make sure your legs are parallel. You don't want your foot to be turned out in the back. You want it to be straight ahead. That's where you get the maximum stretch. Then we go forward. Over the arch, over the knuckles. Pull it back to really stretch through those toes. This is hard for a lot of people. This isn't a natural feeling, but it helps to stretch out the muscles in the top of the foot. Stretch, stretch. Again, over and back. And over, making sure, again, you're not sickling. You want to be over the big toe and up. And other foot. Front. Really feel that stretch. You're stretching those muscles that were worked in the last exercise. And then we push back. Making sure that you stay your feet parallel. You're not going to be turned out for this one. And push that heel into the ground. Try to lift the toes up in the front. These toes back here. If your toes are down, try to lift them up as you push that heel into the back. That's going to stretch all of those lower leg muscles and get blood flowing to them in a way that you would normally have. Stretch over, 2, back, 2, making sure not to sickle. Over this big toe, and back, 2, and stretch, 2. Like I said, this can be very uncomfortable for people with a really tight arch, but it's stretching. Stretching is important. Awesome. So this next exercise, we're going to just turn out, and we're going to rotate our feet, our ankles, and I want you to make sure, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ooh, sorry, turn it in, and to the side. Use your arms. and backwards to the back derriere. 1, make sure it's not out to the side. It's really right behind you. That uses back muscles. And then tuck this down. Don't lift it here. Back, 6, other foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Make sure your body is square. 2, 3, 4. Back. 2. Nice and turn out. You don't want to be off to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back. 6, 7, 8. And finish. Good job. Good job. So now what we're going to do, we're going to push through the arches of our feet. Now, as we do this particular exercise, I want you guys to really focus. It's so tricky because I want you to see my feet, but I also don't want you to just like stare at just my feet. But when you're doing this exercise, we're actually going to start in parallel, and you're going to push your foot over, making sure that you're not sickling. You're pushing over the big toe, second toe. Okay, you're here, and then those toes are going to snap. They're actually going to push off the floor as though you had to jump off the floor with just your toes in that motion, okay? Now, if we were looking at, like sometimes people do this exercise and they just lift their foot up. They literally will lift their leg and then try to point their foot and come down. That's not what this is. You want to make sure that you're pushing here and then snapping the toes. So if I were to let go of this, this would be like here, like you would snap that right out from under you if you didn't have a solid floor. So you're going to snap that foot up and push through the top part of your foot, the arch, okay? And you're going to push forward as though you're pushing off the floor and the arch of the foot was going to hit something. If you could do this against a wall, you would be like, boom, you're going to hit the wall with this part of your foot, okay? That's the part that you're pushing for. So we're going to push up, push down, other foot up, other foot down, here, 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 down, and then we're going to go up, just without the extra break, and that is a snap in the ankle. Can you see that? It's this muscle here is going sharp and tight, and you're really, really snapping that. I think I've said snap 27 times. Okay, I think you get it. So we're gonna do that in parallel, and then again in first, and then we get quicker and quicker, and it kind of becomes almost like a little jog in each position, and then we'll take another break, and we'll go to the bar. Okay, so let's make sure we've got this. We'll do some emboîté music. Push, up, push, down. Other side. Really put your weight on it. And down. Push, snap. Push, down. Push. Try not to sickle. You kind of got to wing the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're doing 8 of these. Here. Up. Push, up, push, faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7. Double time. Your leg should be straight as you land on it. You're not doing this. Now let's do it in step first. Up. Try to get your weight over the ball of your foot. Up. Oh, my music's gonna hold up. Maybe not. Up, up. 4 more, 3 more. Make sure that you're using your stomach muscles. My arms are relaxed, but my shoulders are engaged, my back is engaged. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 7, 8, and straight knees in between. You hold your arms out, it's even better. And your arms don't get your shoulders moving. Finish. Excellent. Okay, so our next exercise, we're going to go ahead and take our blocks. And what we're going to do is I'm going to move this up forward so you can see a little bit better. You put the block here on the ground, and actually, I'll show you this way first. You want your feet to be a hips width apart, which is going to be different for different people. Okay, if you are like a teenager, older person, then your toes might be on the sides of the block. If you're a younger person, your toes, you could be a little bit closer in, but essentially you want to have space so that you do not have your feet extra close together, okay? You don't want your feet to be touching. You want to make sure that they are separated on the block. The other thing, so that's from side to side, but then on the back, you don't want your whole foot on there. You want just to the ball of the foot, right? In this section right here, that's where the block needs to be. It needs to be on the edge so that when you come down, your heels can go all the way to the ground. Okay, that's the goal, is to get them all the way to the ground. We're going to go up, and we're going to go down. Then we're going to go up, and we're going to go down. And this, the only thing is you do not want your backside to go this way, because you'll flip right off of your block like that. So you want to make sure that you're pulling yourself up, that your hips, the fronts of your hips are over the ball of your foot, and that you are not leaning back and hanging on to whatever it is, because this can happen and your weight gets really off center, just like our bars. So you want to make sure that you are centered, lifting through your center. Your shoulders are down, your head is going to, you're going to go up and down, okay? So the exercise itself goes like this. You start in a plie, a relatively deep demi-plie, okay? Your feet should be pretty flat, as though there was a floor underneath those ankles, okay? You stay here, you're going to roll slowly up through and slowly back down. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You want to stretch the backs of the calves as much as possible. The heels should go down as far as you possibly can. Your center stays pulled up. Your shoulders are over your hips are over your ankles, and you want to make sure that you're staying centered that way. As you roll up, there's a lot to think about here, ladies. As you roll up, you want to make sure your knees aren't touching and that your feet don't go like this. You do not want to sickle your feet, okay? You're going to keep your knees straight, a space in between them, and you're going to roll up and try to stay over the big toe, second toe, and back down. You guys, your quads are going to be tired at the end of this, okay? We roll up slowly, up and down 8 times. Then 16 times, we go double time, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay? Then we straighten our knees. We stretch out those gastrocs, those calf muscles, and then we do the exact same thing except with straight knees. All the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. 8 times, and then 16 quicker ones, and then we're done. Okay? It's you really want to make sure that when you go up, that you don't fall down. The whole exercise, or a good portion of the exercise, is that you're resisting the urge to come down and keeping your ankles exactly where they need to be. So there is resistance in that. You wouldn't want to go up and down, up and down, up and down. So it's not about a bounce, it's a push together, squeeze it down, squeeze it up, squeeze it down. Okay, that's where you're going to get your strength and keeping your weight over your hips. All righty, let's get this one. Ready? Nice deep in. 1, 2, down, 2, 1. Tummy in, tall through the back. Up, 2, down, 2. We've got 4 more. Up, 2 more. Up, 2. Fingertips on the bar. Up, 2. Now we double time this, right? Up and down. Up and down. Make sure you're not leaning back. Down, up, down. 1, 2, 3. 8 more. Should feel those quads going. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. All right. Now, I would highly recommend stretching out your quads after that one, because that's doing a lot. And then we are going to go ahead and do it with straight legs now, okay? All the way up, making sure you're over the first 2 toes. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down. Making sure that you're here. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down. Up, down. Really stretching out. Now up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze the thighs together to make sure you don't lose the weight over the big toe. Up. Good job, you guys. That is a workout. That is going to strengthen those lower leg muscles like you would not believe. You guys are going to be jumping like crazy. Okay. The last exercise that we're going to do, we're going to use our slider tool. The slider tool is kind of cool. Most people expect that you slide on the shiny side, but it's actually the foamy side that slides. The shiny side is actually kind of sticky. So you put the words, if you have the ones that we have through the studio, the words go on the floor and your toes go on the top. Now this is a way to work the lower leg. We're using those toes again to snap and come down, and snap and come down, okay? So as we put that down, we're gonna go in first position. This one is tricky because you need to make sure that you don't have anything sticky on the floor. You definitely can't do it if you have carpet. If you're dancing on carpet, this isn't gonna work. You need to have a nice sliding area. And you're gonna be in first position, nice and tall. Sorry. Last exercise, kiddos. We got this, okay? So, I'm gonna make sure you can see me, but small adjustments. So, as you were in your first position, kind of the same placement of your foot as we had on the blocks. So this ball of the foot, before the arch starts, that's the part that you want on the slider, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a nice tendu combination. You can hold your arm out because it does strengthen your back and it always helps to exercise your arm, but you also can put your hand on your hip if it gets tired. Because we really wanna focus mostly on the feet, okay? Now, if you'll notice, I'm gonna turn side sideways so you can see what I'm doing, but you really will be facing straight on, okay? So you're going to push your tendu to the point, to the ball of the foot. But you're exercising across the top part of your arch as though your whole foot was pointed, but you have to disengage the toes and keep them flat, okay? So you're pushing your heel forward and your arch forward. You're going to feel this muscle here along the side, and then you're going to hop up, and then go flat, and then drag it back. Baby toe first, heel front through all of it. So we're going to do that 4 times. 1 and 2 and 3. Pull it back, 4. Push heel front. Snap the toes like we did at the beginning. Push the ball of the foot into the ground and pull it back. You're pushing the ball of the foot into the floor while you're pulling the baby toe back and into the front. And it can get sticky. Push and up, push and back. And you really need to push into the floor or it doesn't move. So you've got to use this turnout muscle as you're going, and as you're pushing into the floor, you're engaging lots more muscles than you would if you were just breezing your foot across, okay? When we just do the exact same thing. It's 4 in each position on block. So side and push, and side, whoo. Push it in and close. You're going to use those toes. You're going to grip to do it, okay? Here and up. It's not a perfect science. If you have dry feet, you might want to put some lotion on, okay? Finish that. Now when you go to the back, guys, don't do this. This isn't the back. So many people get like, I can't see it, so it must be derriere. Well, it is not unless you are straight back, right behind you. Push it here, push it into the floor, okay? Here and here and here. You almost want that heel to cross into 5th position before you go, okay? And then bring it back into 5th and then to 1st, okay? And then we'll go 4 to the side. Then we'll switch to the other side. Hopefully this will be good. Ready? And front, up, push, close, up, push, front, up, close. Here you go. To the side, side. Really work that arch. Pull the heel front, toes back, up, push, push, up. Remember when we go to the back, it's right behind, up, push, and goes. It's really hard when you can't see it behind you, right? Up. Try to get that heel front. Last times to the side. Side. Up. In. Side. Up. Push and in. Last 2. Making sure you're not lifting that hip every time. And finish. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Get ready. Front, push, front, and close. We have teeth here. Front, push. This also needs to make sure you're in front of your nose and not way out to the side, right? To the side. Side. Lift those arches. Push, close. Try to make sure you're centered. Your arms are even and strong. Push, heels front, toes back, up. Really turn out to the back. And tape on the floor. Close, back, up, push, and check. Up, push, close, back, up, push, and close. To this side, up. Not an exact science, right? Up, push into the floor. If you do lose it, it just means that you need to go a little more. Push, side, up, push, and gents, whoever's tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I hope that you felt those lower leg muscles getting stronger and stronger and stronger. This is something you can do every day. Give yourself a break if you need to. It doesn't have to be every day. Every other day is even great. But at least once a week, especially if you are on point, especially for missing point class. This is a great way to keep your feet and legs in extra good condition so that when you put those point shoes back on again when you get into class, that you will be ready for it. This, like I said, is good for all dancers. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. And thanks, you guys. Happy dancing.